Hello, this is Angie. Today I'm going to be doing a whip and chat. Welcome to my channel, Angie's Crafting with Diamonds here on YouTube. I am welcoming you if you've never been here before and saying, hey, good to see ya or hear ya. If you have been before, and thank you for being here. As you know, I have been away out of town, so I'll talk a little bit about that. But before I start, I wanted to let you know what I'm working on. This is Sunflower Garden from Diamond Art Club by Donna Gelsinger. It is 50.7 centimeters by 68.9 centimeters in round. I am using my DP Gal Creations white medium-sized tray. As well, I have 3 pens that I'm using from Crafted Makes with glue dots in the single placing side and Quake Hold Putty in the other end. So that is what is that now. So today is, I don't know it's Thursday, but I don't know what number that is. It's still August. I'm just behind you guys. I don't know what day it is. It's hilarious. I know that Saturday is the 1st, right? So if it's Thursday, today's August the 30th. So yeah, I'm still, you know, was away and I'm getting adjusted to everything. And I am going to get into this. And my multi-placing isn't looking that great. So don't look hard. Just keep doing whatever it is you're doing, whether it's, I don't know, whatever you like to do. Maybe it's just driving down the road and you're listening to this on as a podcast even. I'm thoroughly enjoying working on this particular kit. It makes me really happy. It's the perfect way to celebrate the end of summer and just to get back into the swing of things. The week has been kind of strange, all the jet lag and everything. And I'm drinking my coffee. Okay, it's morning. It's like 7 a.m. or something because I'm just so messed up. I can't sleep. And yeah, the struggle's real. I know. I went on a trip. I shouldn't be struggling, but I am. And that's the facts, right? So where is my tweezers to open this? I have some somewhere. These new containers I got are kind of stiff. So I found I get a sore finger from opening them. They're just not broken in yet. So, those there. So for those of you that don't know, my husband and I just spent a week in France. It's our second trip. Oh, our last trip wasn't to France. It was a tour that included Paris. So this trip was to France when it was so cool. We had a really good time. I'm not going to talk too much about it, just some basic things because my plan is to, let's see, my plan, I'm really rusty on my whip and chats because I haven't done one for about 3 weeks, have I? My plan is to take, okay, so I'll start back a little bit more at the beginning. So for this trip, something I learned on my last big trip was that I ran out of space on my phone for pictures. I don't know, that trip was, I don't know, what was it, 6, 7 years ago? I don't know. Anyway, so I went online and I bought us each SD cards for our micro SD cards for our phones because we have Android and our Android phones are old enough that they can accommodate external storage. So then I have to get the pictures off my husband's phone to combine with my phone. And it's not that easy because he's been at work all week. And when he comes home, he's glued to his phone. He's, you know, watching whatever sports and surfing and all the rest. And it's like, well, I don't really want to take that away from him. So maybe this weekend when he's not working, I'll get a chance to pull off the files, and then I'm going to combine them. And I'm thinking I am going to combine just a little commentary over the next 2 or 3 whip and chats about the trip, and just not to like make my whip and chat just about that. And then I could break it up into like different places that we went in each whip and chat, or I could talk about, I don't know, however long it would take to talk about a couple places. And then, you know, that could be interesting and fun. And I'll remember different things at different times for different things. You know how it is. Well, I'm assuming you do. At least for me, that's how it is. So, yeah. So for my family, I'm going to be taking all of it and making obviously a big video of our whole trip. But that won't be for the YouTube, I don't think, because there are pictures in there that include children, and I don't want to accidentally put a child in my video that I don't intend to do and that I don't have permission for, because never mind the rules, I don't think it's the right thing to do. So to cut that all out of my videos would be very hard, because everywhere we went, there were tons of kids. It was like, it was Christmas vacation. Hilarious. Christmas. Oh my gosh, I need more coffee. I am telling you. It was summer vacation in France for the kids, still in August. So families were out and about, and it was really great to see people getting out and enjoying life and all of that. But it also meant the venues and things we went to see were busy and clogged up with families trying to go through. And, you know, not all kids are interested in seeing these historical things, and they're hot and tired, and you know how it goes, right? So I tried my best not to include them when I was videoing, but sometimes it was virtually impossible. So it takes a bit to do all of that. So I thought I would do it in sections or by days. But guys, some of the days, on one of the days, we went to 3 chateaus in one day. So that's a lot of video editing to do. And to figure out what you guys might even be interested in seeing. Like, is that like, it's not really diamond painting, but I guess it is whip and chat kind of material, because, you know, it's my life, and you're kind of, I'm assuming if you're here listening to a whip and chat, you're at least semi-interested in hearing what's going on with me. And, you know, we have to choose what we're comfortable to share on the channel too. So I have to respect my husband, who is also in almost all the videos, because, you know, he's with me, and he seemed to always end up sitting in the video somewhere or walking ahead of me. And because, you know, one of the cool things we did just for fun, just to tell you, we went to Versailles. And when we were in Versailles, that was like our first date there. We were fully jet lagged. It was smoking hot, but he did not have wireless, he did not bring his wireless earbuds. I have no idea why. So then he had no earbuds to hear the guided tour. And I mean, after we did that guided tour, recording, we didn't really do any more of those, because we found that it actually made us, as much as it was interesting, it made it really slow to go through. So it was like information overload. But I'm really glad we did it in Versailles, because we paid for it, blah, blah, blah. We didn't get audio guides. After that, we just decided that, you know, the signage was generally pretty good, and that we could look up stuff online on the way there if we wanted to, and stuff like that. So here we were in Versailles walking around, and we each had one of my earbuds that I brought. And he would walk away too far from me and say, oh, come back and say, well, it's not working. And it's like, well, you went too far away. So it's cutting out because you went behind like this stone wall. And I don't think the signal will go through one of those walls. So then it was like, oh, okay. So, you know, anyway, so that's that's one of those things you learn as you're going through. But man, that was a busy place. So back to getting all the pictures done. So I will have a huge job in putting all of that together in some format for our family things and for the channel. And thank you everyone who does subscribe here and come and listen and all those things. I do appreciate everyone. As you know, life is life. Life can be hard. And my life, yes, I got to go to France. Yes, there are things I am completely grateful for in my life, but there have been other things that have been actually pretty tough. And I'm still working through them. And what I'm going to do. One of the things that I'm looking at right now in my life is that going back to the beginning of, I don't know what do people call it, COVID? That's what it was. That's what it still is. It's still out there. I lost my job. But right before I lost my job, I traded in my car and got a new lease car. And I had already committed financially to this car. So I got laid off, I think it was March or April of 2020. I had ordered the car to my specifications. I ordered it in January when I was still working and life was still great. Of course, my job was horrible, but whatever. I was just tired and had just gotten a new boss in my job, the third one in 5 years. So that was stressful. But the company decided, the company was getting ready to sell. Of course, we didn't really, quote, know that at the time. So they basically canned everyone possible that they could can, doubled up everyone else's workload. But I was one of the people that got let go in a massive layoff. But in the meantime, I had already financially committed to returning the car I had to get, because my lease was ending on my car before that. So then I had my, see, I don't even use a single placer, you guys. I can't remember who. I saw somebody posting about the fact that they don't use their one placer. I do and I don't. I use whatever I feel like at the time. I think this might need new putty in the end. It's kind of been sitting. So anyway, so about the car. So I had ordered a new car. I'm not going to get into the details of what it was or how, but the car I had that I was returning was a sports type car, like more of a sporty car. It was 2 doors, and you've seen pictures of Heidi. I'll throw a little picture of her here. She is not a small girl. And I wanted to be able to take, what had happened was my husband had to go out of town for work before Christmas that year in 2019. And he was gone for 2 weeks. I could not take my dog to the park. And she was she be a 1-year-old puppy at the time? So, put my putty in and just everywhere and everything, you guys. Everywhere and doing everything here. Anyway, so that was one of the main reasons I decided not to keep the two-door car. Because it was a sports coupe type car. Not overly expensive, but still a nice high-end car. And, you know, I don't know, midlife crisis or what. Anyway, so I thought, well, you know, I'm just going to go see what they have. So when my lease comes up, maybe I need to order something. Well, they in fact said, oh, well, you can return your car, quote, early, as long as your kilometers are under XYZ. And, you know, we figured out what are reasonable kilometers so you could keep commuting. And to my shock and awe, I lost my job 3 months later, and I had already ordered this car. I had put down, you know, a hefty deposit of $5,000 from my savings account on that car. And I was like, what am I going to do when this car shows up? Because either way, I still have to have a car. Like, so what do I do? Like, what if they ask me if I'm working or not when I pick up this car? So the story on that was I showed up. The car was late coming in. I still hadn't found a job, and I didn't really get a job for like a whole year. It was so absolutely brutal. And because I was a repeat customer, I didn't have to give them any documentation, so I turned in the car and took the new car. So the new car brought home, and it sat in my driveway, and I barely drove it. In fact, the car isn't even broken in. It has like 20,000 kilometers on it now, and it's 3 years old. I don't know how many miles that is. I can't help you with that. I know some things in Imperial and some things I use in metric, but you know, when I cook, I'm using Imperial, but when everything else in my life seems to be metric, I don't know. I'm like one of those cutover kids when they changed us from metric to Imperial in Canada. I was in elementary school, and so of course my mom and my grandma were all using Imperial, and they did not understand metric at all. And my mom still doesn't, not really. She still talks in ounces, and grandma used to always do that. Ounces and quarts. I'm like, what the heck is an ounce and a quart? Like, I have to look it up. I don't know what you're talking about. How big is the jar? Is that a small jar? Because they would can like fruit and stuff. Anyway, so back to the car. So this car sat in my driveway for a long time, as you know. I'm committed to the lease payments. I've made the lease payments, but interest rates have changed. Fuel costs have changed. And this particular car takes premium fuel. Well, I don't know how much fuel is where you are, but here it just, my fuel hit $2.30 a liter. The other day, I put in half a tank of fuel for $80. I'm like, wow, that's insane. Also, the repairs, because this car I have is an import, are in the future will be high. Interest rates are high, and now looking at what am I going to do about my car, because my lease is up in the next couple of months, and I don't think we're going to keep it. My husband and I did we were looking at the total cost of ownership over, yes, I'm an accountant, I'm a finance person. We were looking at the cost of ownership over a 7-year period, etc., etc. And, oh, that must be where I'm down to like my last end here, guys. I'm on the corner of this. So I haven't used any washi tape to mark my section. So you guys can laugh when I try and place drills on top of plastic, because that's what I just did. I'm like, oh, there's plastic there. Oh, okay. So anyway, yeah. So we're in the conundrum of what to do. I don't have a job, but he does. And we are now looking at an electric vehicle because I've commuted my entire career to somewhere in Vancouver from the suburbs, except for the last 3 years since COVID. So given that, it's highly unlikely that I'm going to get a job close to home. It's just highly unlikely that I won't have to commute. So then if I get an EV, electric vehicle, I can go in the HOV lane by myself, right? And I also am thinking that if I have no gas, my costs become very controllable, because in my research, I've been finding out there's very little maintenance needed. So that's what I've been looking at since we landed, is what to do. And I started looking at it before we went. And right now, the car of the moment is maybe the new Nissan EV that came out, or, believe it or not, the E-Mustang. They're about the same price. I couldn't believe it. I thought the Mustang would be a lot more money, but I'm just like, am I like, you know, it takes me back to being a kid when I had a Mustang when I was a kid, but they're a Mustang, and it's like, am I being responsible getting another one of those? Because, you know, like, but it's not, it's a Mustang, but it's like, it's very modern. It's not the same as our, you know, the old 5 liters. They used to call them 5 liters here anyways. The big engines and all that. I never had that because, you know, I couldn't afford the sticker shock when I was young to buy one of those. Nor, you know, would you want to be commuting in something like that. But now it's like this weird concept. Like, and the other thing is I don't want to be trapped into paying for software subscriptions. Okay. So, and I don't need like Blue Drive. That kind of traffic I'm in wouldn't be able to handle, what is that, Ford Drive Blue or something, new thing coming out. So I don't think I even want that. But with Nissan and Ford, there is no software subscription. With the car I have now, I was absolutely pissed, is the good word, that I know it sounds hoity-toity, but one of the features I, quote, ordered on my car last time was remote start, so that I'm not absolutely baking or absolutely frozen getting in my car, especially with my hand problems. A cold car is really hard on me. A hot car, okay, yeah, I could open the windows and let some heat out and then drive. But, you know, I really like, I'm in dress clothes, and I don't know, commuting in dress clothes and getting in a hot, sweaty car is just not my idea of a good time when you've been working hard all day. Oh, was I going to do this one or do I want to do these? I think I'm going to do these. So, yeah. So I don't know what to do. I'm going around in a circle. We've been talking about what to do about, see my fingers all sore from my containers. What to do about this car. Because my husband's got a 50-50 deal with his work where they pay, anyways, he has a car through his job. So I'm not really supposed to drive his car, but I also can't get to work because we don't have very good public transportation where we are. Because we have so many bridges, because we have so many rivers and things and waterways in the ocean, that it's expensive to build transit here. Anyway, so we don't have any, and yeah, so I need a car because I don't know where I'm going to be working, and with all the jobs I've been in and out of, nothing seems to be reliable. I don't know what I'm going to do. But this wasn't supposed to be about electric vehicles. This was supposed to be to say hi. And I don't know how long I will talk today because, yeah, I am still fighting the jet lag and I am tired. Like, I get up in the morning and it feels like it's like 3 o'clock in the morning because it's a 9-hour time change and it's 9 hours ahead. So, 3 o'clock in the morning where I live would be noon in Paris or in France. And that was really hard. I mean, that was hard all week long. And then we came home and everything's supposed to flip back. So I thought, well, I never really fully adjusted. Surely I'm going to flip back easily. No, that's not what happened. I'm totally struggling. And yeah, I go to bed, I pass out at like 6:30 at night, which is like what's 6:30 plus 9 hours would be 3 o'clock in the morning in France, right? So I just can't stay up any longer. And yeah, it's like, it's been horrible, you know? And we even stayed up when we first got there in our room. We stayed up the whole flight. We flew out Friday after work for my husband, and then we stayed up the entire travel day. So we left at 5:30 in the afternoon on Friday, and we arrived at 3:30 in France time. So that, and the 3:30 we arrived was on Saturday, France time. So we lost a day, but we just thought, oh, well, we'll just stay up till at least like after dinner, and then it'll really help. And I don't know if it helped or not, because how can I compare it to anything? I just think I am not a good time traveler. When we went on our trip last time, I had the same problems. And even when I go to see some family we have in Toronto, I suffer the whole time. I never adjust. I have done that on a couple of work trips I've had to go on too, where I'm just not a good time traveler. I don't know why. I'm just not. Are you guys good at time traveling? What's your trick do you have any tricks to recover from jet lag? You know, I mean, I already have sleep issues, so maybe that's why. But yeah, the jet lag's been hard. Jet lag has been hard. And I'm hungry at weird times, so I wake up in the morning and I'm starving. I don't normally eat much in the morning. So I'm like totally messed up with that too. And like my poor son, 6:30 at night, I'm like, can you let the dogs out? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay up until, you know, a reasonable time, like 9 o'clock, to let them outside again before I go to bed. He's like, yeah, okay, Mom. And I thought, well, that'll only be a couple nights, and then we'll be all back to normal. No, not such is the case, you know. Although last night I did manage to stay up until 9 o'clock, which is totally horrible. But whatever, it's better than 6:30. But I still did not sleep through the night again. It's like, so I am suffering from jet lag, which is giving me a bit of a bubble brain to do this whip and chat. So, what's happening with you guys? I am going to be getting ready to do a kitting up for a fall DP along that is on the licensed diamond painting. Oh gosh, I talked about it. I'm just terrible with names. Licensed Diamond Painting Canada. It used to be DAC Fans Canada. Anyways, in that Facebook group, they're having an event. So I was thinking of kitting up one of my kits to start that maybe this weekend or as soon as I'm done this one. And this is like my last section down here. And then I've left myself this little bird over here to finish at the very end, because then it helps me get through the side. See, there he is. Chickadee. Just want to keep his glue covered up. That's why that sheet's sitting there. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be kitting up something for that. And I'm not sure what other events are on. I'm behind on YouTube. I'm behind on, I don't know if I'll ever be able to catch up with all the creators out there and all the things everybody is doing. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you're in any events for the fall. Are you going, I think is it Drills and Shells or something like that? And then I think is there a Dreamer Designs event or something that Dreamer Designs is doing? Some kind of DP along. And there's also the your mental health. Oh, never mind. I had planned to do Your Mental Health Matters, which was an event, is going to be an event held by Queen Kimmy on YouTube. I'll throw the link to her channel below, but she is delaying her event, and I'll let you know if I hear when it's back on again, because I think that is an important event, and I really like her channel and her style. She has good vibes, so check her out as well if you haven't already. And yeah, let me know what you're working on, what you're doing. Oh, and if you have an electric car, which one do you have and how do you like it? I am my latest thought on that, just circling back all the way back to that, is that I might just do the shortest lease they have if the payment is the same, so that I am not financially obligated if I end up not liking having an electric vehicle. And if I love it, I can either buy it out or I can go and get a brand new one. But either way, then I'm not taking anything out of my savings while I'm not working to do that. And I may get I'm even thinking, I may just get like the entry-level car to save some cash, because I can always, if it's a lease, I'm not married to it, I can deal with it. It's only, if I do 3 years, that's 36 months, you know. So that is what I'm thinking right now, to be smart, especially with the economy the way it is, the interest rates the way it is. I think I need to be smart, right? So I don't know. And I could still buy out my car, but I don't think there's any point in doing that. I just think in the long run, I looked at the fuel and it was going to cost me, if I was working full time, and when I was working full time and commuting, I would say on average, I would use a tank of gas a week just to go to and from work. So I figured that the gas alone was going to be over $7,000 a year just for that. And so I'm like, wow, if I can get a payment that's similar to the lease payment or less that I'm making now, and I have no fuel, that is going to be huge on our family, right? And I would like to get the Nissan Leaf, but I think it's too small for my son to sit in the back. That's the problem right now. Or does it matter? I don't know. We don't go on big road trips. And I know we could use my husband's work car. We just have to pay for the fuel in it. But then I'm not supposed to drive it, right? I don't know. Maybe the Leaf is the answer. But if I lease a Leaf, could my son drive it? Because he's under 25. I guess I just have to add him to the sticker on the insurance to do it. I don't know. He doesn't have his license yet. He never got his license, but I was hoping that he might try again to do that. He keeps getting too much anxiety during the test, and then he misses it by 2 questions. So that's pretty stressful. We can talk about that another day. The adventure of getting your license in British Columbia. It's a bit of a joke. It's absolutely horrible for anyone with any issues to go through that kind of environment, and the stress of making them wait, along with the stress of the noise. It's just, yeah, well, let me get started. Don't even let me get started on that. That's a discussion for a different day. But thanks for listening. I've actually starting to come up with even more ideas of what to do and how to make my decision. I think it's going to come down to dollars and cents. I did look at also a a used Nissan Rogue. But again, it's all about the fuel, right? And I don't know what it's like where you are, but used cars are not any cheaper than new cars. So, and with interest rates the way they are, it's like, it's horrible, right? So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And stay tuned. I'll let you know what happens. Stay tuned. So I think that's going to be it for today. Thanks for being here. I will have a Kitting Up and Chat coming out soon. I will also have another Whip and Chat or update on my Josephine Wall kit. I'm also thinking in my next Whip and Chat to show you my paint gens that I worked on. And I did some blinging up on them. Just a couple of them. It was super fun and a super fast mini project you could do if you've never like tried changing out drills. It was really fun and to do that, and it didn't, you know, it's way less stressful to take a small item to try and change than to take a great big painting. So I highly recommend it. So I'll show you those. And I think that's it for today because I'm out of coffee, which means I need coffee. So thanks everyone. We'll see you again soon. Bye.